You know, science is a great tool for evangelism. In fact, that's what Reasons to Believe is about, is using science for evangelism. I know you have used science for evangelism. You're passionate about that. Can you tell some of the general principles you use, and how has that worked out in your experience?
Yeah, Jeff, I think being able to use science as a starting point really resonates well with a lot of people and culture now. And as a young earther, I was told that Big Bang cosmology was essentially the evolution. It was the primary means of evolution. But to understand that Big Bang cosmology actually points to a beginning in energy, space, time, and matter, and to realise that no effect can be greater than its cause, that means we're looking for a cause that is omnipresent, omnipotent.
Well, it's interesting because the science seems to be giving you tools to say, hey, the God of the Bible matches our description that we're talking about.
That's right. So, yeah, we're looking for a cause that is, as I said, omnipotent, omnipresent, immaterial or spiritual. And when you ask, well, who fits that bill, it is the God of the Bible. So Big Bang cosmology, rather than being something that is a problem for Christianity, it's one of our greatest friends. So, you know,
it's almost like, you know, people have said, oh, music is bad or evil or whatever. It's like, no, you're naive. Use the medium to reach the people. People like music. So this is kind of like using science. They'll talk about it.
That's right. It's like fire, isn't it? Fire is good or bad depending on how you use it. And so being able to look at the arguments of science, looking at just the big picture, you know, Big Bang cosmology points to a beginning. It points to a creator. And well,
you got that in the design. You know, the design of the universe points to a designer.
Well, there's that fancy word, teleology, the purpose of creation. It looks like it's designed. It looks like there's a purpose, which involves intelligence. And so these are the two scientific starting points that I've used. In fact, a lot of people are very wary of social media, Facebook and Twitter and so on. You know, over the last year or two, we've seen several young people, bright young people, who have started off as aggressive atheists, who have engaged with me on Facebook and things like that and YouTube. And we've presented to them Big Bang cosmology, teleology, the argument of design. We've moved to the case for morality, the case for looking at common universal experience of conversion. And
so the science is kind of one in a suite of tools you have.
The science is the wedge that opens the door. It opens the door, and we've seen several young people actually come to Christ because they were accepting of the science. They didn't question Big Bang cosmology. So it became a common starting point that then we were able to, you know, bring them to that question of the resurrection of Christ.
I'm assuming that didn't happen just overnight, that this was kind of open the door, and now you have a chance to have those deeper
That's right. Some of those conversations happened over the best part of a year. And sometimes the language is not what I want my children to read. But I'm recognizing with this, as I do now with the YouTube clips, when I get, you know, sometimes the vitriol. I used to delete it. Now I leave it there and I respond to it. And because I'm aware that there's some 14-year-old kid in his bedroom reading this conversation I'm having, and he may be wavering in his faith. And so I actually shared this at a conference recently, and I had a young guy come up to me and say, I was following that conversation. Thank you for the way you handled it. So it's because of RTB's help for me to bring me up to some scientific literacy, and I don't claim to be an expert in science, but I'm a pastor and I need to draw on these reference points. It's helped me literally to bring people to Christ because we've been able to use science, not see it as something that's a hindrance to our quest.
You know, that's important, is it? You know, that's ultimately our goal as Christians, is to go out and spread the gospel. And, you know, science is one of a powerful tool, but nonetheless one of the tools in the suite of the toolbox that God has given us to fulfill that commission.